My name's Matthew Melton. I am one of the student vice presidents for Phi Kappa Phi. I was initiated in 2017, I believe, and then I've served as the vice president for the last 2 years. This is my third year now. And I also serve as one of the student council members for National Phi Kappa Phi. So I just started that this summer. And today we're just going to talk about a couple of benefits of Phi Kappa Phi, what Phi Kappa Phi is, and what we may be doing throughout the year so that you guys know if you're interested in Phi Kappa Phi, but also to know what we're going to be doing once you guys are initiated. So if Ellie wants to introduce herself really quick, we can get started.
Hi guys, I'm Ellie. I'm the other student vice president, and I am just quickly finishing my shift at work, so that's why I'm going back and forth between my video being turned on and off. I was initiated last year in the fall, and so this is my first term as student vice president, and I am excited to share some of the membership benefits with you all.
So we just wanted to tell you guys kind of what Phi Kappa Phi is. It is one of the oldest and most selective honor societies in all of the nation. And the University of Kentucky chapter was actually initiated just in 2009. So although there have been Phi Kappa Phi chapters across the nation, and the first one dating back to 1897, we are a relatively young chapter and actually the 306th chapter to be initiated into Phi Kappa Phi. And so as Phi Kappa Phi invite, you are all obviously very intelligent and very successful in your studies, because we only invite the top 7.5% of second semester juniors and the top 10% of seniors and graduate students. So it's really great that you guys have all met those standards, and I definitely want you guys to congratulate yourselves on that. Since its founding all the way back in 1897, Phi Kappa Phi has initiated over 1.5 million members, which is just astronomical. There are a lot of very prominent figures that are Phi Kappa Phi members. You guys should really look that up. People like that are very famous, but then also just at our university, the president is a member, as well as many prominent members around the campus. And so we wanted to talk to you guys about some of the benefits of being a Phi Kappa Phi member. And so there are a lot of awards. Money is always a really good benefit. And so the first one of these awards is a fellowship. And these fellowships are awarded at the end of your senior year if you are going to a graduate study or a professional study. And so there are 2 fellowships that are given out that are $35,000 each year. There are also 6 $20,000 awards, 50 $8,500 awards. And the $8,500 award actually was just bumped up 2 years ago from a $5,000 award. So that's really good. They were able to increase the total amount of money that Phi Kappa Phi National Office gives out every year. And the deadline to apply for those are towards the end of your senior year. And I think our deadline last year, correct me if I'm wrong, Glenn, was in April. Is that correct? Lynn or Dr. Whitlow?
Right.
All right, that's what I thought. In April.
Well, I should say, to point out to people that you are a fellowship recipient this year. And when do you remember when you turned yours in? I think it's in the late spring.
That's why I was asking you. I believe that I turned it in April. It was April or March. So towards the end of your senior year, you have to turn in a local submission, and then the local chapter will kind of filter through any submissions and send one off to national. And so UK has actually received rewards in 7 of the last 9 years. You can only receive 1 award per university per year for fellowships. And so I was the lucky recipient this year, and last year was an individual named Christian Soares. And so we both received that $8,500 award after they bumped that up from the $5,000. There are also dissertation fellowships, And these are given to members that are writing a dissertation, I'm sorry, for a doctoral study. There are 10 of these given out that are $10,000 each year. And the deadline to apply for this is November the 30th. And UK did have a recipient for the dissertation fellowship. His name is Matthew Bush in 2017. And this is just another person named Sarah Mayo that received the dissertation fellowship.
All right, so I'm going to talk about the Study Abroad Scholarship, and it is kind of designed to help support undergraduates when they study abroad. They give away $75 of $1,000 a year. The deadline is in March, and I actually applied for this last year and got everything submitted, and then of course COVID hit, so they didn't end up giving out any of the awards, but I can tell you the process of applying isn't too difficult. It's pretty much a standard application for a scholarship. It was very similar to UK's study abroad scholarship format. And then these are some of the people that have won the awards previously. And I think you can go to the next slide. Another award is the Love of Learning Award, and it helps fund post-baccalaureate studies or career development for Phi Kappa Phi members. And they give away 200 awards of $500 each year. The deadline for that is June 30th. And these are previous people that have won the award. As you can see, very successful winning this award. You can go to the next slide. And then literacy grants are another award that can Phi Kappa Phi members can receive. And literacy and love of learning is something we really like to encourage. So this is awarded to champion literacy initiatives in our communities, and grants of up to $2,500 are awarded each year. The application deadline, as you can see, is April 1st. And we have had a student at UK win, Heather Davis, in 2012.
I do want to mention that all of these awards are given to active Phi Kappa Phi members. So whenever you guys are going to look at paying to become a member, you guys can do a 1 year, a 2 year, maybe 3, and then a 4-year membership. So if you're thinking about applying for one of these scholarships, I would definitely pay for a membership that goes through the end of your senior year, because in that way you save more money, and it automatically makes you eligible once you get to that time to be able to apply for these awards.
They also have a lifetime membership option, I believe, too.
They do, yes. So I also wanted to go over a few of the membership benefits. There are a ton of them, and so I had to delete a lot of options that were even on this slide, just for time's sakes. But a few of the ones that I think are kind of the most important are opportunities to apply to these national awards. With over $1 million given out each year, you have really good odds of receiving an award if you just apply and work really hard on the applications. It's a great resume booster to be part of this society, which I know is something that everybody in undergrad is really worried about, standing out from their peers, and also just being part of a community that really works together and supports each other, I think is a really meaningful benefit, not just for your resume, but also personally. We also do some community service. Part of the initiatives for Phi Kappa Phi is to help out in their community. And so we're trying to do 2 projects this year, one in the fall and one in the spring. And I'll tell you guys a little bit more about that in a couple slides. There are also some discounts for a multitude of different things, from Geico to hotels to car rental services, even health insurance. It's really crazy how many different businesses and groups that Phi Kappa Phi has met with and been able to secure discounts for. So once you guys pay to become members, I would definitely look into that, because even if you just save money on your phone bill every month, which is one of the discounts that are offered, you could actually just pay for your membership that way over a couple months. There are also online communities for professional and social networking. A part of that community, it's called Link. They talk about what they do in Phi Kappa Phi, different levels of professionals, from doctors to lawyers to professors at universities to students. So there are a ton of different connections that you can make there. And we also give out graduation cords and medals for your graduation whenever you become a member. And you can also purchase a graduation stole if you wanted to wear that during your graduation. So this year at UK for Phi Kappa Phi, we're wanting to definitely do a fall service project. So last year, you can see here on the right, this was the student council at UK last year. We went to the Ashland Terrace Assisted Living Facility, and we helped give a talk about cybersecurity, and we talked to all of the residents there just about how they could stay safe, not fall prey to telephone scams or mail scams. It's really a big issue in the older community with kind of falling prey to that type of thing. And so from left to right here, we have Lily Bramley. She was our social media coordinator last year. And this is me. And this is the activities coordinator over at Ashland Terrace. And this is Madison Von Dalen on the right side. She was our other vice president last year. And so for the fall service project in 2020, it's obviously going to be a little bit different because we can't go to an assisted living facility. A lot of these areas are obviously changed in visitation hours and restrictions just because of COVID. But based on the relationship that we formed with Ashland Terrace, we're wanting to try to do something else with them. And so we came up with an idea to do handwritten letters to the residents of Ashland Terrace. And this also fulfills the literacy component of Phi Kappa Phi. So one of the biggest pieces of their initiatives is to increase literacy and spread the love of learning throughout the world. And I know that right now, a lot of these residents are having issues with having any type of personal communication just because a lot of family members aren't even allowed to visit. And I feel like a handwritten letter is something that maybe they haven't had in a long time. And it's definitely something that I haven't done in a long time. And so I'm going to be working with the activities coordinator over there at Ashland to get the residents to write on a piece of paper or a dry erase board or something that they're interested in. And I'm sure that you guys have seen on Facebook, like they'll hold the sign and it says, I like dogs, or I like ice cream. And it'll give you something to talk about whenever you're writing the letter. And it'll be a little bit more personal than just writing a random letter to a random stranger. And so I feel like this would be a really good way for us to fulfill that literacy component, but also to have a little bit of community service in this COVID era safely. And so we're going to be partnering with Omicron Delta Kappa, Alpha Lambda Delta, and Phi Beta Kappa, which are other honor societies that are housed in the Chelgren Center, and hopefully be able to write enough letters to all of the residents in this area. And then there's also Phi Kappa Phi Week, which is in the spring, and they do a community service or a donation activity where you try to raise money or food or something, a book drive, any type of community service activity, and you can apply for awards that week, where last year they were giving out money, and you got to keep that for your own chapter. For the fall service project, they also gave out money. We were actually giving a $150 Amazon gift card to Ashland Terrace, and they were able to use that for the residents in any way that they wanted to. And so if you guys have any questions, feel free to contact the national office. That's all that information is over here on the left side. So they're actually housed in Louisiana because it is a national office. And you guys can email their email here, info@phikappaphi.org. Or first, I would recommend contacting us, especially if you're not members yet, so that we can explain to you how UK Phi Kappa Phi works and encourage you guys to make the most out of those types of opportunities. And so Phi Kappa Phi is housed in the Chelgren Center, which is over in Funkhauser. I'm sure that you guys have made your way around there. And you guys could email Dr. Whitlow, who's the president, or Lynn, who takes care of literally everything for Phi Kappa Phi. She's so amazing. And then this is also mine and Ellie's emails, which you guys could feel free to contact us at any time. So now I do want to open it up for questions. Hopefully you guys have some. I'm sure that you guys have received a lot of emails from different honor societies, and I want you guys to ask questions about why you should sign up for this rather than that, or anything else that you guys have any concerns about.
For you guys personally, you guys can both answer this, I guess, but what is like one of the most beneficial things that you guys have gotten from this organization? Like what's something that kind of stands out about your experience?
You want to start, Ellie?
Something that stands out to me is definitely that we do have an actual chapter on UK's campus. A lot of honor societies maybe don't have an active chapter. And so I think that's a big bonus. And I think the people involved in this chapter really go above and beyond to make sure that you have these opportunities. They send out reminders about different applications that are due. And obviously that those applications are a huge benefit. I'm just also going to say, be sure to follow UK Phi Kappa Phi on Instagram. We're going to be working on getting some content out to kind of sell you guys on this honor society even more over the next couple of weeks.
Could you post that in the group chat, Ellie?
Yeah.
I would say that my biggest benefit, besides the money that they gave me, well, I guess that I applied for, would be the opportunity to apply and be part of the National Student Council. And so I'm going to be helping create a national student vice president summit where vice presidents from different chapters across the nation will be coming together and learning about how to be leaders, how to engage their Phi Kappa Phi members, and how to really partner best with the universities to make the best, I guess, to use Phi Kappa Phi in a way that will make all the members benefit from it, but also so that you guys will know what's going on and be able to benefit you guys to the maximum way. So I think that's a really good opportunity that I maybe wouldn't have had otherwise to serve on a national council. And obviously that's going to look good on any types of resumes or anything whenever I'm applying in the future for medical school related stuff.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Has anybody else received any emails from different honor societies?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, Haley, right? Haley or Hallie?
Hallie, that's okay.
Which ones have you received from?
That's a good question. I should probably know that answer. I've been pretty busy and I haven't actually gotten to check
No,
which
it's
one
really
specifically.
not. I would say that Phi Kappa Phi is different, kind of how Ellie mentioned. We are housed on campus rather than having just a national office that allows the students to control everything. And so with Dr. Whitlow being a faculty president and with Lynn being an administrative assistant that stays here for multiple years at a time, we don't have a rotating like a board as much, which a lot of the honor societies are just students. And so at a maximum, you could only be part of it for 4 years unless you stayed on for graduate school and were still an officer then. And so I would definitely say that's a benefit, having someone that you can physically go talk to, having Lynn there to go and pick up your cords if you miss the initiation, which is what used to happen. People miss the initiation and wanted to get their cords and stuff still. And so Lynn is personally there to help you with that. Or if you need somebody to help you with scholarships, Dr. Whitlow is also the director of nationally competitive awards. And so while there are several scholarships that you can apply as Phi Kappa Phi, Dr. Whitlow is also a perfect connection to getting you a lot of money. And being a Phi Kappa Phi member, especially if you're an involved member, would lead to Dr. Whitlow, let me not put words in her mouth, but hopefully helping you more than if you were just a stranger that was coming and saying, what kind of scholarships can I apply for? Which I know she gets every day.
Yeah, just to point out, I am working with both Matthew and Ellie on different applications for awards. And so I would be I'm always delighted to work with members of Phi Kappa Phi. And I also think it is important to point out that, as Matthew has done, but this UK chapter has had a very, very successful showing in these scholarship communities and, you know, opportunities. And so UK students, you know, have wonderful records, and they've done very well in this national scholarship competition. And so we're very proud of that. And we would like to continue to have students be involved and be interested in that particular aspect of Phi Kappa Phi, because we've been really pleased. I also want to thank Matthew for the work that he's done the last couple of years. He's been involved since he was inducted as a sophomore. And so he's been very active in the leadership of both the local chapter and the national chapter of Phi Kappa Phi. And then Ellie has come on board this year as a student vice president. So we're very grateful to both of them.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. And to answer Nathan, yes, you can. I'm also a member of Phi Beta Kappa, so that's definitely very doable.
Okay,
His question
yeah,
was-
I was gonna say I'm also a member of Omicron Delta Kappa. That's it.
For anyone that hasn't read the question in the chat box, he asked if you are allowed to be a member of multiple honor societies.
I would say encouraged even. If it's within your means to be able to, say, pay for two different memberships, we will definitely be doing different stuff from other honor societies. And if you're looking for checks off of a list to have involvement, I think that it's always beneficial to have more academic involvement, the most academic involvement as you can, I guess I'll say.
And one other thing I should mention, we also have on the call Hannah Cleary, who was the president of the Alpha Lambda Delta, of the UK chapter of Alpha Lambda Delta last year. And that's an honorary that you get offered in your first year. And it also offers various scholarship opportunities. And she actually was awarded the Trow Scholarship for her work with Alpha Lambda Delta. I can't speak this evening, I apologize. I should also mention that Phi Kappa Phi, Alpha Lambda Delta, Phi Beta Kappa, and Omicron, I'm gonna not say that one, ODK, they are all now housed under the Children's Center, and ODK is more recent, and Alpha Lambda Delta has actually only been 2 years, maybe 2 or 3. So the Children's Center is becoming a home for some of these very prestigious honoraries, so that they do have staff members that work with them on an ongoing basis, and the leadership doesn't constantly change, or at least the support. And that's good for students, actually, because then there's somebody around who knows the history of that and can answer questions. And all 4 of those are very prestigious honor societies, and they have slightly different missions. And but I would, I guess, say to all students, as you're looking at all of these honorary invitations you get, and I'm sure you get dozens, a couple of things that might help you as you think about how to evaluate them is, one, is there a campus chapter? You know, and is it active in some way? Is there a campus advisor? Because that tells you that we value it enough at the institution to put time to it, and to make sure that campus presence is maintained. Also, do they offer something back to you? And it may be scholarships. I personally, because of the work that I do, am very interested in that. And so I'm really interested in looking at honoraries that have scholarship opportunities for students. But they may have other benefits, as Matthew mentioned, a break on your car insurance, or a break on some kind of travel package, or, you know, so there are, and so I encourage you, if you join any honorary, that you take a look at the full catalog of what they can offer, because some of those things may be very useful to you, even after you graduate, right? And you may want to have access to some of those benefits. But I would definitely look and say, what does it offer you? And if all it offers you is sort of a listing in an online catalog of who's who or something, I would shy away from those, because that basically you're just paying a check, right? You'll have a lot of opportunities to get your name on lists or in the UK now, or while you're here at UK. So you don't have to have that type of honorary. So yeah, I would definitely save your membership fees for organizations that you respect, that you think that you have the time and energy to be part of, and that offer you something back in the way of a scholarship or an opportunity.
I would definitely agree. Lynn, do you know the deadline date for applying, or Dr. Whitlow? When's the last day you can submit to attend initiation?
October 15th.
October 15th is the date, Hallie, as well as everyone else. And our initiation is going to be on October the 22nd. It will be in little unorthodox compared to previous years. It will be on Zoom, which we have already started preparing how to do that on Zoom. I know it stinks to have everything on Zoom all the time, but it is our current predicament. We're going to try to make the most out of it. Everyone that signs up is going to receive all of the things that we would hand you in person. We're going to mail those things to you. It's going to be part of the dues that you're paying this year to get all of those things mailed individually to you, so that you don't have to try to come to campus or find someone that has all your stuff, which actually is magnificent. Because if you missed initiation in the past, like I said, you had to scramble and try to find Lynn or set up a day to come in and everything. So having that set up is going to be a way that we can kind of set ourselves apart from other honor societies too. We're going to try to have something live and in person, or live and on Zoom, and just introduce everybody and talk about how awesome everybody is, and kind of make you guys official members.
And if circumstances permit, later in the year or even next fall, we'll invite people to some kind of in-person event, those of you who didn't get an opportunity this year. We know it is difficult, but it's hard to find a space where you can accommodate everyone and social distance while also trying to, bring them up and induct them into the honorary.
Sure. We do also have several Phi Kappa Phi memorabilia items, which in the beginning of my PowerPoint, you may have seen a picture of those. Just lanyards, cups. We have some different things that are Phi Kappa Phi logo items. And for anybody that participates in our community service project later in the year, we're hoping to try to get some of those items to you guys, which I know that's kind of a small thing, but just to try to increase involvement in the society, but also so that you guys are able to kind of be proud of your honor society and kind of show that off. Do you guys have any other questions?
Did you all send the recording of this meeting out us to after this?
Yes, so we've been recording since I started the presentation, and we are going to be sharing a link to that to all of the members that have been invited to join Phi Kappa Phi, in case they weren't able to come, or in case they want to go back and look at anything.
So I had a question about the if you paid your membership dues, like, are we going to, for the induction ceremony, will we receive a link to that, like, through our email?
Yes, we are setting all of that up. Well, Lynn is setting everything up. I told you she does everything. And so Lynn will send you guys an email with the Zoom link, just like how we set today's Zoom meeting up. And then that'll be in person. Now, we may ask for a couple pieces of information beforehand. So the thought is that all inductees are going to have their own PowerPoint slide. And so we can kind of individually honor you as we go through, because regularly you would walk up an aisle and then grab your cords and your pen and shake hands with the members that are on the board. But since we can't do that, we're trying to think of a way that we can just kind of try to make it special still. And I do see another question.
Great.
Yeah, thank you so much for that question, Nathan. I do see another question from Kristen. Are there weekly or monthly meetings? So we try to have a meeting once per semester and then one activity. So the thought is that you have a meeting and you talk about kind of what type of activity that you would like to do for a community service activity or an academic activity, which we've done. And there will be food. Lynn is also our coordinator for that. She always gets us something wonderful. And we talk about whatever's coming up. And then the second involvement activity that semester would be the actual community service project or whatever. And then the same thing would happen in the spring. But of course, you can be more involved. I do things more than just twice a semester. So there's always opportunities, something that you can do. And if you're wanting to make the most out of Phi Kappa Phi and it not just be a check on your resume, I would definitely recommend trying to be as involved as possible, because I've made it into something that was far more than just a resume builder. And even if I just consider it a resume builder, it's more than just a bullet on my resume now. It's an actual involvement activity that I am a elected member on, that I've done a lot of activities and involvement for. Okay, well, if there are no other questions, Dr. Whitlow, Lynn, Ellie, do you guys have anything else to say before we wrap up?
No, I just thank you all for coming this evening, and I hope that you will strongly consider joining Phi Kappa Phi.
It was nice to meet all of you all, and I'm so excited you all walked in tonight. Just to echo what Dr. Whitlow said, it's a great experience to have, so I would really recommend you join.
I agree. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, send one of us an email about anything specific, and hopefully we will see you guys October the 22nd. Thank you guys so much.